This morning when I got up, a buddy of mine gave me a late Christmas gift. Santa Claus must have forgot this one in the bag, but he sent it to me. It was a clip from Madam Web, a clip that I had already scrubbed from my memory. It's where she's edging a Pepsi can for like 5 scenes in a row. So she's like fidgeting with it, she's caressing it, fondling it, playing with the tab on it, and never actually opens it. And this goes on for like 2.5 minutes or something like that, where many scenes back to back to back, she just has this Pepsi can and she's just like she's doing a fucking secret handshake with it. Narratively, the reason she's doing that is because she wanted a beer. So the natural human reaction in not getting a beer and getting a Pepsi instead is to then start groping your Pepsi can for 2.5 minutes like an absolute lunatic. And it reminded me not only of how horrible Madam Web is, but also how we got to this point, with Sony Pictures CEO Tony Vinciquerra just being a delusional imbecile. A few days ago, he came out to publicly defend and deflect for the Sony lack of Spider-Man Spider-Verse, where they produced these films for Spider-Man villains that took them and made them into basically what ChatGPT thinks heroes are. And these films have not been received well. It's been flopping more than when I take my cock out of my shorts to tinkle. It has been nothing but embarrassing movies that they have produced. And Tony Vinciquerra can't wrap his head around why they're not performing well. And it just showcases that the leadership at these massive companies is so out of touch that it's sickening. The reason they're not performing well should be obvious. Because the movies are bad, and it's things nobody wants. Even conceptually, this formula that they tried to cook up here is just dog shit. It's a recipe nobody wants to eat. You're taking Spider-Man villains, hold the Spider-Man, and turning them into heroes. Not even anti-heroes, but in the lamest possible way, like CW-level hero slop. It makes no sense. I don't know who it's for. Out of all of the Sony lack of Spider-Man Spider-Verse, the only ones that have at least done decently in the box office are the Venom films. And it's not like they're amazing movies, but they're significantly more entertaining than the others that they've pumped out. The Morbius, the Craven, the Madam Web, all that. Like, Venom has worked to a certain extent because it's at least silly fun, at bare minimum. The others are a tedious chore to sit through. It's more stimulating to listen to a lecture on ATP in an anatomy and physiology course than it is to go see a Sony lack of Spider-Man Spider-Verse film. And Tony Vinciquerra is just deflecting. He can't understand why they're not doing well because he doesn't think they're terrible movies, and he blames the press for it. Highlighting the box office disasters this year for them with Madam Web and Kraven the Hunter. Kraven the Hunter in particular has underperformed beyond your wildest possible expectations of what underperforming could even look like. Whatever you thought was possible for dog shit in the box office, Kraven the Hunter has exceeded. And Tony, he knows that. He described Kraven as the worst launch that Sony has had since starting its Marvel franchise. And then also added, so that didn't work out very well, which I still don't understand because the film is not a bad film. Tony, come back to reality, man. Not only is it a bad film, but no one wanted to see it in the first place because it is a company that has a reputation for pumping out bad movies in this genre. And it's also a movie about a Spider-Man villain that doesn't have Spider-Man in it, so why are people going to go watch the villain be the hero? It doesn't... Who is this for, Tony? It's not for you because you're not watching it. I know you haven't seen this movie, Tony. Don't you ever lie to me again. Don't you ever tell fibs. Liars go to hell, Tony. So stop it. Cut it out. You haven't seen this movie, because if you did, you would know exactly why it hasn't done well. It's a bad movie. It also didn't help that the director of Kraven had to come out and publicly beg people to give the movie a chance. That is so sad, like begging people to show up to your birthday party. The director's saying people have got to give us a chance and come out and support this film and literally try to wash away some of the other stuff that's happened. Give our film a chance. Even acknowledging shortcomings in this fucking lack of Spider-Man verse. And anyone who was suckered into this by the director pulling on their heartstrings, well, you know what they got rewarded with? A bad movie! Kraven sucks! It's not good. Anyone who went to see it wasted their money and time with seeing it. It's better than Madam Web, though, but that's the lowest possible bar you could ever set for something. And Tony actually had some very interesting words about Madam Web. Madam Web underperformed in the theaters because the press just crucified it. It was not a bad film and it did great on Netflix. For some reason, the press decided that they didn't want us making these films out of Craven and Madam Web, and the critics just destroyed them. Tony, Madam Web is a pile of shit with fart on top. I don't expect him to come out here and be like, look, we know this is trash. We know the movie's trash. I don't expect him to do that. But he can at least have some dignity here and throw away the delusion for a second and be like, oh, these movies underperformed and we need to take a step back and understand that maybe we weren't delivering the quality that fans would expect from these properties. Like, that's a classy way of handling it, as opposed to just saying, it's all the press's fault. The press, for some reason, just had it really out for Madam Web and Craven. We created masterpieces, but the press, they crucified it. No, man. People with eyes crucified it. It sucks. You didn't watch Madam Web. I know you didn't watch it, Tony. Because if you did, you would know what everybody who was subjected to this torture knows. It's boring, and it is a movie where, like, actually nothing happens. It's terrible. It became a huge meme because of just how terrible it is. Oh, man. That was the guy that was with my mother when they were researching spiders right before she died. Like, that became a huge meme. It's bad in every possible department a movie can be bad in. The action, for how little there is in here, there's like 2 scenes of action, is horrible, where like the ambulance crashes through that building at one point, and it's going to miss the main villain. I don't even remember who the villain is. I don't remember his name or anything about him. I just remember this scene where the ambulance is crashing through a building, it's going to miss him, so the villain jumps in front of the ambulance so it'll hit him. Every part of this movie doesn't work. That is why Madam Web didn't do well. Not because the press had it out for Madam Web for some reason. It's just not a good movie. Tony just loves passing the blame and has the convenient excuse of the critics and the press. They also did it with Venom, but the audience loved Venom and made Venom a massive hit. These are not terrible films, they were just destroyed by the critics and the press for some reason. Now, there has never been a time in history where people have less faith in critics than now. So I promise you, it doesn't matter what the critics are saying, it's not really going to change how people feel when they leave a movie. In fact, a lot of times, people will go see a film in spite of how much they distrust the journalists that cover it. This is not an excuse that works. Like, I fucking can't stand, like, IGN, for example. But if IGN said Venom was the worst movie ever made and I go see it and I like it, I'm not going to let that IGN review change the way I felt about the movie. This is a stupid scapegoat that you're trying here, Tony. Now, of course, I do still believe that sometimes reviews, if they're just overwhelmingly negative, will scare some people away from seeing it, and those people will be more reserved and wait to see what others say. But I think in cases of like a superhero movie, the people that are planning to see it are the same ones that are probably going to already distrust the critics and the press and what they say about a film. The big thing is no one wanted to go see these because they're not interested in seeing them, and they already knew that they were likely going to be bad. Completely regardless of what the press was already saying about it. Now, in the case of Venom, Venom is also not an amazing movie. There is not an amazing movie in the Venom trilogy, but that trilogy is at least fun. There's action, there's charm, there's comedy that works from time to time. So those movies are entertaining to watch. Craven, Madam Web, Morbius, those movies are a slog. They are a chore to sit through. It's a punishment if you have to watch one of those. Like, it's not comparable. It seems like they're finally throwing in the towel for this strategy that just has not been working at all, saying, I do think we need to rethink it just because it's snake bitten. If we put another one out, it's going to get destroyed no matter how good or bad it is. Again, that's just cope. You haven't made a good one yet. Like, that's the problem. Tony just being all pathetic about it and pouting. You know, even if we made a masterpiece, everyone's just gonna call it stinky anyway. Like, brother, you just haven't made anything good. It's also a bad idea that you tried in the first place. Look, man, it didn't work. Move on. But stop trying to push the blame onto the way the press reacted to the bad movies. Anybody that watched them will say the same thing about them, that they just weren't good. Like, Craven and Madam Web are 2 of the worst movies of the year. But anyway, though, the reason I'm talking about Tony is because it's a good insight into the people that lead these massive corporations and just how far from the public consciousness they are, where he is with a straight face saying that the reason Madam Web and Craven are failing isn't because they're bad movies, because they're not. It's just because of the press. That's so delusional. They are just not good movies. Again, I don't expect Tony to come out here and eat a mouthful of ass on it, being like, yep, these movies are garbage. I just expect him to just be more honest about it and say like, hey, looks like you guys weren't responding super positively to these films, so we're going to re-strategize this approach to this universe. Like, that's, like, you're acknowledging that people don't like them without making excuses for it, and you're talking about how you're going to go forward and hopefully learn from this failure. But in today's day and age, there is no such thing as a CEO that gets it. It's just like Ubisoft here, constantly doing the same shit and wondering why it's failing without ever taking a moment to see the root cause of what's causing the failure. That's exactly the street Tony is walking right now. The Ubisoft path. But with terrible, no Spider-Man movies that he's pumping out. I am curious to see what they plan to do going forward now, though. Honestly, they should just sell the rights. Like, they clearly cannot use it very well. I think it is about time they just fully throw in the towel and call it quits on it. But regardless, even if they do continue this path going forward, not going to bother me much because I like bad movies. But unfortunately, almost all of these haven't been fun bad. They've been waste of time bad, which is the worst kind. But I guess we'll see what happens next for Sony Pictures here in this universe they've built up. That's really about it. So yeah. I've talked about tons of evil companies and industries over the years, but the one I want to talk about today makes Umbrella Corp from Resident Evil look like Weenie Hut Jr. Health insurance. Now, I've ranted and raved about health insurance on stream quite a few times, way before the big thing that happened recently. And I'll just be clear up front that I'm not here to talk too much about Brian Thompson getting banished to the Shadow Realm. I'm here to talk mainly about health insurance itself and how corrupt and malicious it is, as well as the United Health Group CEO Andrew Whitty's video that he made about the response to this whole thing. So to be clear, Brian Thompson was the CEO of United's insurance division. Andrew Whitty is the CEO of United Health Group.
I'm sure everybody has been disturbed by the amount of negative and in many cases vitriolic media and commentary that has been produced over the last few days, particularly in the social media environment.
Yeah, mean words are so much more disturbing than an entire business model that revolves around making oodles of cash off the corpses of your clients as you knowingly deny coverage for life-saving medical treatment for those individuals that have been paying you for so long for the single purpose of you stepping in to help in an emergency situation. Then when that unfortunate time arises, it's just crickets and radio silence and then like a giant stamp of denied from United. Here's a nice little graph that helps showcase how efficient these health insurance providers have become at denying your claims. And United Healthcare, they got it down to a science. They are way out in front. They got the gold medal with 33% denied claims. To put that into Fortnite terms, United is grittying to a fucking winner chicken dinner dubski as you and your loved ones are dying. It's no surprise why people hate health insurance. It's not a political issue like a lot of people are trying to make it. You can see some of the usual suspects on YouTube saying things like, oh, the lefties are celebrating the death of this healthcare CEO, an innocent man just looking to put food on the table for his families. And if you look at the comments, it doesn't matter what side of the political spectrum you're on, everyone has been fucked equally by health insurance. They are the Thanos level threat to human beings' survival. Everybody knows somebody, and you may even be the victim yourself, that has been denied by their health insurance provider because the whole purpose of the health insurance business model is you pay them for a long period of time to do a single task for you, which is help in an emergency situation, and their goal is to find ways out of doing that task you pay them for. To fuck you in the face. Literally just let people croak because they don't want to pay the money to cover those procedures that could save someone's life. They make money off normal people dying, and normal people are paying them for the service. It is so fucked up.
And I want to reassure you of a few things. Firstly, we are going to continue to make sure that we put patients, consumers, and members first, as we always have done.
What? Pardon? I must not have heard him right. There's no way Mr. Krabs just tried to sit there with a straight face looking like my wrinkled nutsack saying that United has always put members, consumers, and patients first. What? I mean, maybe he meant like putting them first in the ground after they deny the life-saving medical treatment that they were looking for. Maybe that's what he meant. I'm not entirely sure, but there's no way he actually tried to say that United puts the patients first, right? There's no way. I mean, you could just look at the data. 33% of all claims being denied? Like, in what universe does he think anyone's going to believe that? Everybody has been affected by this. It's not like this is some big secret. Everyone knows how fucking foul the health insurance industry is, and United is the worst offender. Like, here, I'll give you actual footage of the United CEO anytime one of its clients die after a denied claim. Man, I just broke that. Man, look what you made me do, Andrew! Look what you made me do!
The mission of this company is truly to make sure that we help the system improve by helping the experience for individuals get better and better.
Mission failed then, Andrew, in the biggest possible way. And the response that you're seeing to all this should be a pretty clear indication that every single human being on the planet that has been cursed with United health insurance coverage feels that the experience has only gotten worse and worse and worse and worse and worse and worse as you have made more and more and more and more and more and more doubloons off of denying claims. Hey, real quick, Andrew, can you go ahead and put on your reading glasses and take a peek at this for me? Look at this chart and tell me exactly whose experience has been getting better? Because it's not the normal American that has to have health insurance. It seems more like it might just be United Health Group itself. I'll quickly take a moment to play in the pigpen and tackle the most brain dead that are trying to justify or defend the health insurance companies. Like, I couldn't imagine anything more pathetic than doing free PR for health insurance of all things, but there are those absolute worms out there doing that in the trenches right now. I see a lot of people making the comparison that a health insurance provider denying a claim is not the same as killing someone. It's fundamentally doing that. If someone's coming to their health insurance that they've been paying for how many years and they are looking for coverage for a very expensive medical procedure and they say no and that person dies because they no longer could afford that medical procedure that would have saved their life, then that is the insurance provider fundamentally killing that person. And the comparison that some of the pseudo-intellectual enlightened super dweebs on Twitter are comparing it to is saying like, oh, well, if someone needs a kidney and you're not on the kidney donor list so you don't give them a kidney, did you murder that person? Shouldn't even really need to explain why that's absolute dog shit, but I'll go ahead and do it anyway. Was that person paying you for years and years with the sole purpose of you donating that kidney to them should they need it? Probably not. They weren't a client or anything like that. Like, not being a kidney donor is completely different than being a health insurance provider who is paid for a sole task and then they do everything they can to not do that task. And then when someone dies as a result of their refusal to do that task they have been paid for, that is the health insurance provider having a big hand in that person's demise. Another pretty obvious difference here is that giving a kidney is an extremely big deal. Like, that is a risky thing to the person who does it. Whereas in health insurance, the only risk in paying for someone's medical procedure is that your shareholders might not get as many millions of dollars because now you might actually have to start doing what people are paying you for. If there is a chance that United Health paying for a medical procedure means they can't afford to pay for someone else's, then they shouldn't be in business in the fucking first place. It means they're trash at what they're supposed to be doing. They're being paid by everyone to do this task of covering their medical procedures when they need it. And if they can't afford to do that, they should not be around.
There was nobody who did more to try and advance that mission than Brian Thompson. And there are very few people in the history of the US healthcare industry who had a bigger positive effect on American healthcare than Brian.
Hey, come back to reality. Andrew, we're losing you. You're fading into Narnia right now. What are you talking about, man? Making tens of millions of dollars at a company that leads the nation in denied health insurance claims is not pushing the industry in any positive direction for normal Americans, man.
And we are going to make sure that we not only acknowledge and honor that legacy of Brian, but we will continue it.
That's right, everyone. We are going to be pushing for 50% denied claims next year in honor of this mission. It's a lofty goal, but I think we can deny even more claims come 2025. So mark your calendars. 2025 is United's year. We're making history. Half of all claims will be denied. Mark my words. Like, this isn't something to get excited about, man. The mission has just been growing your profits while denying more claims. So you proudly announcing that you're going to be continuing that mission is about as painful as you coming out and saying that you're going to continue waterboarding me. Like, why would I be pumping my fist about that? The only one that gets excited there is your shareholders.
Our role is a critical role, and we make sure that care is safe, appropriate, and is delivered when people need it. And we guard against the pressures that exist for unsafe care or for unnecessary care to be delivered in a way which makes the whole system too complex and ultimately unsustainable.
What is sustainable, though, is all of that growth United keeps experiencing. That's what really matters. We need to make sure that is sustained. This is garbage, man. This is actual just baloney. He's just blabbering about nothing. It's a yappuccino trying to spin this as like them trying to do something good. It's not. What Andrew and his company deem unnecessary care is completely unreasonable oftentimes, where it is very necessary for the patient to stay alive. Well, we denied this claim because we felt it was unnecessary, because we did a cost-benefit analysis and we concluded that the patient was going to die in 60 years anyway, so what's really the point in spending all this money to keep them alive now when they're just going to kick the bucket in, a couple of decades?
So we're going to continue to make that case. We will continue to do the work we do. And I have never been more proud of this company and our colleagues and what this company does on behalf of people in need across the country.
You would really think, with what happened here, someone like Andrew, and I don't believe that he's even really human anymore. I believe he has sold his soul many, many years ago and is just this hollow husk that's only filled with money. But you would still think at some point the neurons would fire in his noodle and he'd see this response and be like, that mission, about helping people, kind of failed at that, didn't we? Maybe we should do something different. But he hasn't even had that realization. Or maybe he has and he just doesn't care, which is the more likely explanation. But you would just truly think that the reality would set in like, oh, people fucking hate us. People are awake to how exploitative we are and how we are actively making their lives harder.
I encourage you to tune out that critical noise that we're hearing right now. It does not reflect reality. It is simply a sign of an era in which we live.
Great advice. All those people talking about how corrupt this industry is, yes, please plug your ears to that so that way you don't actually hear from the victims of our business model. We don't want you to start feeling sympathy for the numbers on our bottom line, all right? We need to make sure that we don't look at them as anything real. They're just imaginary NPCs for our money, and we like that money, don't we? It's just so crazy. It's so crazy. He's saying that it doesn't reflect reality. Brother, that is the reality. These are your clients that are coming out and sharing their experiences. It doesn't get any more real than that. As opposed to your fucking barnacles that you're vomiting out here, that is the fraudulent fakeness. The reality is that people have been fucked by your health insurance company and plenty of others. The industry is rotten to its very core, and people know that, which is why this isn't some big political issue of left and right. Everyone is united in how hard they have been fucked and how many times they have seen people be affected negatively by this industry. And this guy just refuses to let that set in, and he's trying to brainwash his employees to just be numb to it and pay no attention to it.
What we must do is focus on what we know to be true. And what we know to be true is that the health system needs a company like United Health Group, and it needs people like Brian within it. We're fortunate that within this company, we have so many people driven and inspired in the same way that Brian was, and we will continue in our journey to help everybody who needs it within the health environment.
It's just crazy. I know I don't need to keep ranting about it, but it actually does just blow my mind that he would even say things like that, which are so provably false. It's honestly like almost a threat that they have plenty of other people like Brian in the company that are as inspired as Brian and focusing on what Brian was focusing on, which is clearly the profits in the company and denying more claims so they can make more money. That's a bad thing. And he's just talking about it like it's an accolade to be super proud of and something to be excited about. It's just frightening. It's actually just frightening. So yeah, I wanted to rant about health insurance a little bit. That's it. So yeah, I have to talk about this goober. And I apologize because I know so many people are tired of hearing about AI, but I cannot fight this urge. It's like Gollum with the one ring here. The more and more I read about this dweeb, the less and less I can resist speaking about it. An AI artist, and that is a word I'm using very loosey-goosey when referring to this gentle sir, has the chutzpah to attempt to appeal the Copyright Office's decision to reject copyright protection to his AI-generated art piece. His name is Jason M. Allen. You've probably seen this picture that he AI generated because it won an art competition like 2 years ago, and it was a huge story because AI art had just won an art contest, so it led to a lot of hoopla. He has tried to copyright that piece. It was rejected. He's salty, and he's attempting to appeal it. I believe the Copyright Office made the right decision saying, no sir, and just putting the kibosh on that. Copywriting an AI-generated piece is like trying to copyright a fucking wet dream that you had. It's so silly. And Jason M. Allen's attitude about AI art, I think, is just so pretentious and misguided that it is compelling me to talk about this because I just think it's so delusional. He described his creative process with Midjourney as an iterative process where he provides detailed and repeated prompts to generate images. He argues AI is simply another tool like a brush or camera. I would challenge anyone to prove that it's otherwise. It is a program, it is a machine, it's a device that people can use to technologically make their lives more efficient. Hey pal, you just blow in from Stupid Town? I'll accept that challenge, Jason. A brush or a camera does not create anything for you. You, behind the camera and the brush, still have to make the art. This does it for you. It's not the fucking Disney Channel, Greg, where you'd like hold out the brush and you'd make the Mickey Mouse ears and it just appears before you. You still have to be talented in order to use the tools like a brush or camera to create art. When it comes to AI, you don't have to have talent at all. I've personally generated hundreds of silly AI art pieces over the last couple of years because anybody can do it if you have a keyboard. It doesn't take a galaxy brain gifted human being to do so. But would you consider me an artist? I certainly hope not. I have nipples, Greg. Can you milk me? Here, let me just showcase the difference between real art and AI art. This is one of the best pieces that the world has ever seen. That's a portrait of me that I'm holding in the thumbnail here. So when I first went to college, I was doing digital arts, and I had no talent for it whatsoever. So that is a portrait I made of myself. I'm sure you can see the resemblance is uncanny. I really captured my my appearance one-to-one. And to expand on that even further, here's a portrait I made of my father in the same course that year at college when I was doing art. That piece still makes me laugh to this day. That, I think, is probably one of the finest things that has ever been put to paper. Like, since the beginning with papyrus till this day, I think that is the finest artistic work ever created, that portrait of my fucking dad. But now, let me show you what my AI art looks like. Here's some Heisenberg pieces that I generated 2 years ago. Wow, I really got a lot better, didn't I, Jason? It's stupid. To make the argument that AI is just a tool and you still need to have talent as an artist to use it, like it's some kind of Excalibur or something that you need to train with, is outrageous. It is delusional. Look at me using actual art tools and you can see I am not a talented artist at all. And I took 2 years of art courses and only marginally improved. That is something you have to work at for years. With AI art, I type in a single sentence and it does it for me. To compare a brush and a camera to AI-generated art like using Midjourney, is laughable, Jason. That's the reason people shoot spitballs at you, brother. It's a stupid take to have. He also couldn't resist throwing a little pity party and playing a sad song on the world's smallest violin, saying, "I have lost a lot of respect for artists, especially those who attack me and continue to attack me. I'm standing in defense of my rights to express myself using AI generative tools and against a popular narrative that a lot of people, for some unknown agenda, are pushing really hard to prevent people from being able to express themselves." I don't know what ghosts you're fighting. I don't know what you're even referring to here. If you're just AI generating art on your own, who cares? No one cares. It's the fact that you're trying to copyright it, man, and the fact that you're entering it into art competitions against real artists. And I know that term has been super muddied, real artist, but I think most sane people can agree that someone just AI generating art is not an artist by any sense of the word. You are typing in sentences and letting the machine make whatever it envisions. The hardest part of your creative process, Jason, and I cannot believe he has the chutzpah to call it a creative process, is just hitting enter multiple times. As he said, he just repeats the prompt enough until it spits out an image that he's satisfied with. Where is the creative process there, Jason? You type in a sentence and then just have it keep repeating the process till you get something you like. Oh, God. It's just so silly. He says, as AI continues to evolve, it is imperative that our legal framework adapts to protect the rights of humans who harness technology for creative expression. Which is a complete load of horseradish because it has nothing to do with creative expression. If you want to personally just generate AI art on your own, go wild. I don't think there's anyone in the world who actually gives a shit. If you want to make James Corden as Vegeta destroying planet Namek and use Midjourney for it, go for it. Nobody cares, man. It's when you try and sell it and try and license it and copyright it, this and that people obviously take an issue because it's ridiculous, man. And let's not pretend this is about creative expression, Jason. It's all about how he's not able to make money off of his AI art. He's saying that the copyright denial significantly impacted his career. I have experienced price erosion in the sense that there is a perceived lower value of my work, which has impacted my ability to charge industry standard licensing fees. I don't know who the fuck would pay for AI art in the year 2024. If you like an AI art piece, just generate it yourself. Jesus Christ, like you can just do it yourself. Why would you ever pay money for it? But whatever. He then went on to say that it put me in a terrible position with no recourse against others who are blatantly and repeatedly stealing my work. It's kind of ironic, don't you think, Jason? AI art is trained on real artists' work in order for it to generate the way that it does. Blatantly just stealing their work and copying it in order to generate pieces based on it. I also love that there's a little peek under the hood here. We get a little taste of the secret sauce. He told the office that he created the art with the generative AI system Midjourney by testing hundreds of prompt iterations. My God, backbreaking labor. He typed hundreds of words, damn it, and altered it with Photoshop. Yeah, I'm sure he did a ton of altering. The office rejected Allen's application after he refused to disclaim the parts of the image that Midjourney generated. Mr. Allen had a specific artistic idea conceived of in his mind, and he used Midjourney as a tool to create an artistic expression of that idea. Such creative input is on par with that expressed by other types of artists and is capable of copyright protection. Goofball, I have hundreds of artistic ideas and visions in my head that I can never bring to life because I'm not a talented artist. And what separates me from actual talented artists. That's the whole point, man. And it's fine if you want to generate what's in your head using AI art. I don't think that's a big deal at all. The problem comes when you try and copyright it, you try and sell it, or you try and deceive people with it, or you try and use AI art tools as a means of pushing out real artists. That's the main problem with AI art, and I'm sure you've all heard it a million times, but it's true. Companies are going to be shifting to AI art because it's cheaper and they can infinitely generate art without needing to pay actual artists a salary or anything. And it is a grim future because of things like that. But if you want to generate AI art pieces that just take what's up here in your noodle and put it onto a picture, go for it. But why are you going to try and make the argument that you're some real artist, you're going to try and copyright it, you're going to try and license it? It's stupid. I think that's so dumb. If Jason was just a little more honest with himself, like, hey, I just kind of typed sentences into Midjourney and I got a really cool picture from it, then no one would care. But right now, he's opened a goddamn case about it because he's so butthurt that they refuse to protect his AI-generated piece with a copyright protection. Like, what the fuck, man? It's so dumb. It's so dumb. I had to talk about this. So anyway, that's really about it. See ya. You hear about the CEO that fires his employees who don't have six-pack abs because it shows they lack dedication. I already know this is going to be like one of those alpha male things where it's like, it's clear you don't really want it. So you're going to stay a virgin kissless loser if you don't have your six-pack abs and you're not working for me. You're going to stink up the joint. I'm a boss who fires anyone without six-pack abs. I have high standards. Does he also fire anyone that has hair because it makes him feel inferior?
I'm going to tell you this, my entire company, my entire team, if you don't have a six-pack, you don't work for us. No, I know. It's called, everybody say standard. How about we raise them?
An Arizona sales trainer and car salesman is facing blowback after bizarrely claiming that he won't hire anyone who doesn't possess rippling abs. Does he make all of his employees take their shirt off in front of him like once a week to ensure they're not letting themselves go? Like he has to keep inspecting their body? If it doesn't tingle his winky, he just fires them? Your ab definition is lacking this week, Richard. Go home. You make me sick. Also, why do they need to have abs for being a car salesman? That doesn't make them better at their job.
How about we raise them? How about you guys quit getting fucking civilized and you guys quit settling?
Are you trying to date your employees or something? Bend them over your desk in the office? What do you mean? Standards of a six-pack ab. It's meaningless to the job. Andy Elliott tells his more than 500,000 followers, six-pack or you're fired. This is one of those incendiary guys for the sake of trying to generate headlines, I imagine. If you get hired on in... What? If you get hired on in our company, you got a certain amount of time to get your body in shape or it just shows me you don't care. I mean, I've got one, a six-pack. 90% of my team has one. And you know, if I say, get a six-pack, my team understands what I mean. I can just grab any of my people before a meeting. I can say, all right, shirts off, look around. Who's the most disciplined one in the room? This guy's an HR disaster. I already know he's boinking one of the secretaries. Big thanks to Marvel Snap for sponsoring today's video. Marvel Snap just released on Steam with widescreen support, and it also was the recipient of the Mobile Game of the Year award at last year's Game Awards. It's a collectible card game that's known for fast games, deep strategy, very in-depth deck building, as well as beautiful art created by renowned comic artists. And it's also updated frequently with one new card being added every week to keep strategies changing often. The strategies are always super versatile and fun, so a cool strategy would be like if you want to build around Sarah. Sarah is a card that reduces the cost of all cards in your hand by 1, so you can set up your board, play Sarah on turn 5, and then just slam as many cards as you can for the win on turn 6. So there's over 220 cards right now, most coming with their own unique abilities, 115 locations, and then 1,300 different card variants from beloved comic artists. So like I mentioned, it just launched on Steam, and to celebrate, they're doing a limited time login bonus, which is available as a Twitch drop that are live between August 22nd and August 29th. And they're also giving out an exclusive Mech Devil Dinosaur variant for logging in through Steam. So if you're interested in trying Marvel Snap, you can use my link in the description below to get started on Steam right now. This is a fucking sexual deviant. What a weirdo! What a fucking weirdo! The self-proclaimed world's #1 sales trainer founded Scottsdale-based Elliott Group, offers online courses to impart his alleged wisdom like a jacked Jordan Belfort from Wolf of Wall Street. What wisdom? Get a six-pack or else get fired? That's not wisdom, that's bad business. What? This includes an inner circle mentorship that he claims can help people earn upwards of 9 figures a year. This is a crazy person. He's off his meds. He's loose. If you're wanting to earn 7, 8, 9 plus figures a year, this is the right mastermind for you. Don't watch this if you aren't serious about leveling up in all areas of your life. Okay, this isn't for me then. Yeah, I can't handle that kind of power. $499 a month? And a one-time membership fee of $1,500? Jeepers creepers. And I already know people paid for this. That's what's so fucking sad. That is tragic. Ugh. Alright, I'm gonna watch. No compatible source. The fucking video player doesn't have a six-pack, so Andy Elliott doesn't even allow his content to be shown on it. I respect that. It's not because he doesn't keep his website up to date or anything. That absolutely not. Monthly power call. God, that's embarrassing. No, babe, sorry. We can't go out tonight. I have my monthly power call with Andy Elliott, and I have to show him my ab progress. No, it's not sexual, babe. You know, you just don't get out of my life. Where's your six pack? Get on somewhere. Go take a hike. Yes, I want to be in Andy's inner circle. Definitely some kind of sexual cult. Oh, the private inner circle membership with $1,000 a month and a one-time membership fee of $25,000. He's giving it away. It's basically free. 2 private VIP mastermind meetups per year, where you can spend one-on-one time getting close to Andy Elliott himself. Oh, now we're fucking talking. Oh, yeah. That sounds good. That's worth every penny of that $25,000. Andy Elliott holds events every month at the Lion's Den in Scottsdale. Yes, sir. The DEF CON Alert Room. I love those kind of names. The Testosterone Thunderdome. The Muscle Masturbatorium. I'm out of cool names. But I love this kind of shit. The War Room, Lion's Den, that kind of stuff. So good. And you still get your power call, thank God. Oh, this one's the Brotherhood, aka Andy's new best friend. This is where I want to be. In fact, I want to be Andy Elliott. Is there a tier for that? I want to wear him like a goddamn Flesh cosplay. $1,600 a month and $50,000 up front. And I get his personal phone number so we can flirt with each other all the time. Yes. This is only for the big dogs who are serious and aren't afraid of self-development. I'm a big dog. Yeah. Yeah, this is for me. Yeah. Unlimited access to Andy Elliott. Come hell or high water, Andy Elliott will be ready. If I'm stuck in an elevator, you bet your ass I'm calling Andy Elliott before the fire department, and he is going to rappel down there and get my ass out. But no one else, because they probably don't have six-packs like us. Now we have the monthly private high-level group mentorship call, so that's a little bit better than the power call, I think. So, this is such good value. I can't believe Andy Elliott would even give away this kind of information. When does he even have time to sell cars when he's changing lives? At such a reasonable price. The salesman whispers tips which he frequently posts to his 550k Instagram followers involve everything from having sex once a day to not being a lil bitch. Nothing says real man, not a bitch, quite like paying $50,000 to some bald goober for his personal phone number under the guise that we're going to be best friends. Yeah, that is certified not bitch activity. Only a real man will pay $50,000 and $1,600 a month for this dude's phone number. That's an alpha. Hold on, let me see. Actually, let me see his Instagram for myself. You're about to see my third eye open when I visit this one. He's got the secrets to the universe tucked away in here. Crazy moment caught on stage is his pinned one. And it starts exactly how you think it's going to start. Holy shit. Crazy moment caught on stage is the thumbnail. And the first thing he says is, take your shirt off, to some random guy.
Take your shirt off. Come on, Garrett. Take your shirt off, Garrett.
No, six-pack!
Okay, now hold on. Now, Garrett's a killer. Am I right? Garrett, how old are you? 29. Garrett.
Where's your six-pack?
Does this bother you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, doesn't bother you enough. Because if it did,
I
you wouldn't
agree.
have it. This is the last time I want you to take your shirt off in front of a group of people and not be in the shape you want your children to be in.
What Andy did for me is he kept me accountable.
Nah, no six-pack. I'm not proud of you. You're clearly not working hard enough. Your kids hate you. Unbelievable. Is this whole thing about get a six-pack or die? Because this is like every single thing I'm seeing here on his Instagram. The Lion's Den is an adult video store. Why does he have meetings there? This guy is a psychopath. Wait, what? The Lion's Den is an adult video store? Are you sure? The one where he holds his $50,000 annual power meeting? Power club? The no girls allowed, six-pack only, take your shirt off boys club? The Lion's Den in Scottsdale. No. There's two different Lion's Den. I found the one that he holds it at. This one's kind of like a little ballroom. It's very cute, actually. Very comfy.
Are you having sex every single day? If you're
Yes.
not, dude, you don't like you. Because if you did, your ass would be naked every night having sex. Am I right?
God, that's,
Just kidding.
that's
That was
spoken like a
joke. I was
virgin.
just messing with her. Yeah, by the way, it's healthy for you to have sex. Am I right? Yes, it is. She even said it. 93 years old, she's like still doing it every day.
And I'm
We're
gonna
good.
fuck her right after
Okay?
this conference.
I promise you can't outgrow that shit. Okay? Sorry, bud. Anyways.
Oh
forgot
my
he was
god,
here.
what? Oh, that's so creepy. Oh my god, that's so weird. Oh my god, that is so weird. Yikes. Wow. That is some yucky shit. He lets kids go to these things? Andy, why? And he posted this himself. In his latest testosterone-filled tutorial, Elliot claimed that having a cheese grater abdominals are essential to staying on his sales force. I'm going to tell you this. My entire company, my entire team, if you don't have a six-pack, you don't work for us. Yeah, that's the one we were already talking about. If a guy calls me and goes, Andy, I want to make more money today, I'm going to say, do me a favor. Go get a gym pass, check back with me in a month. If you're still working out, you're showing up 5 days a week, you're eating clean, I'll let you buy a coaching program. Yeah, I'll allow you to spend $50,000 on me. Or, that's the Brotherhood. Hit the gym, get back me a month, and then, only then do you have my permission to waste $50,000 and $1,600 a month. You have to earn it. I mean, those are the people sitting in their mom's basement, you know, commenting, or, by the way, or they're people that are sitting there wishing they could kill it in life, just still making excuses for not taking action. I always loved the mom's basement. That shit always comes out so quick. That's the dagger. You guys are just in your mom's basement afraid of spending thousands upon thousands of dollars on my courses. Where you get great advice like, get a six-pack, loser, and nothing else. How many men or women can actually protect their family if someone were to break in and cause harm on them? This is more than just being fit. We're in a world right now where everybody's breaking mentally all around the world. I mean, he's right. And I think the people that are the most broken are the ones willing to pay thousands of dollars to this absolute unhinged lunatic. And it's not like having a six-pack is going to protect your family. Like a burglar breaks in with a crowbar, you're like, wait, look at this. And then you flex your abs on him. He's not just going to get like blinded like it's JoJo's and fall over. Like you don't need a six-pack to have like a gun or a baseball bat to defend your family. Or even be good at martial arts or Brazilian jiu-jitsu, like anything. The six-pack is in fact entirely worthless in a fight. If you had a six-pack, your kids would choose you as their hero. Kids like superheroes. What is wrong with you, Andy? If you had a six-pack, kids would love you. Kids love six-packs. It reminds them of superheroes. You want to be a superhero, right? You want kids to love you? Get a six-pack. By the way, you want your wife to admire you. I mean, when you married her, right? You don't think she sexually, wants to look up to you and be like, God, my guy's the man. I mean, come on, dude. Let's not be a dummy. If you don't take care of that shit, guess what? You're gonna die early, period. And your children will have to let someone else raise them. And your wife's gonna live with some other dude that has a six-pack. Yeah, you're gonna die. You're gonna be buried 6 feet deep. And your wife is gonna turn to someone that bought my course on how to get a six-pack. I think his course isn't very clear on what he's selling. He's very hung up on this six-pack shit, but what he's actually selling is mentorship when it comes to making money through unspecified means. Like, he doesn't explain how you're going to be making 7, 8, or 9 figures a year. He just says if you buy it, you will. With no actual plan in place. Hold on, let me go back to his Instagram real quick. Does he ever explain how he helps you make money through his programs? Because everything on his Instagram is just about six-pack. This one just says, who's your daddy?
99% of the world right now, they need their manager. Daddy! They need daddy!
This one just says solar salesman. Does he sell? Is he a solar panel scammer? Is that his money-making strategy?
Hey, Daniel, I appreciate you, but I don't want to sign an agreement.
Is it me or?
No. Don't go into that shit. Is it me? You don't understand something? No, listen to me. I'm going to give you a secret, okay, Daniel? You're currently not in agreement with your current utility company. Am I right? So if they triple
Oh my God.
you have to pay for it. Am I correct, yes or no? 100%. Right now, if they doubled or tripled your bill within the next 12 to 18 months, we know they will.
Or is this like an exercise, maybe?
In place that allows you to be inflation-proof, yes or no? So agreements are good as long as they play in your favor, like this one.
What are you clapping for? No, any reasonable person is to be like, can you shut the fuck up and get off of my doorstep? I'm not interested. It's door-to-door solar panel selling. At least that's what that seminar was. That's how you're making 7 to 8 to 9 figures a year? With Andy Elliott teaching you to be an annoying douchebag going door-to-door selling solar? That's crazy. No, he does used car sales. Yeah, but that's not what he's selling here. The program. I'm talking about the program. He's a car salesman. I know. We established that very early on. I'm wondering what he's teaching them. Like what he's supposed to be teaching them to make money. Because he's not hiring them for car sales. At least I don't think so. Not according to what I'm seeing here. He's selling used cars with solar panels. True. But everything here is talking about the secrets to closing somebody. So yeah, and this literally says a door-to-door salesman's secret weapon. Is his program really teaching you how to be more annoying as a door-to-door salesman?
When I'm in a home or I'm on a front door, that's your house,
wow.
that's your porch, these people owe you money, it's time to go collect.
I did not expect that. I did not expect that plot twist at all. He is teaching them how to be more annoying as a door-to-door salesman. Amazing. So you're paying, at bare minimum, $500 a month for that. What an interesting rabbit hole. Shout out to the chatter who told me about Andy Elliott. This guy's a fucking amazing goofball. And I feel like I've only scratched the surface on his lore. How and why does he need you to pay 50K to make more money? If you have 50K, you definitely won't need the course. It's just hoping for big fish, like big delusional fish that are willing to part with their money. It actually works really well. I did make something on this a while ago. It's called the Self-Help Guru Scam. These are very, very, very lucrative. You position yourself as a guru, and like, you pay me and I'll give you the secrets of happiness, I'll give you the secrets to making money, I'll give you the secrets to love, whatever. And people are more than willing to give everything they have for it. Have you ever heard of Andy Owen? Well, you're about to. I'm gonna drag you kicking and screaming in front of an Andy Owen original here with this big meltdown that she had on video where she made an absolute fool of herself. Now, Andy Owen is the head of Miller Knoll, which is the company most famous for their Herman Miller chairs. They're high-end chairs, and with the way people talk about them, I have to imagine that shit is made out of like unicorn hide or something. Like, it is actually fucking sewn with angel's tears. It must be so fucking comfortable with the way people rant about how amazing they are. I've never seen them, I've never tried them, so I don't really have a horse in that race on whether or not Herman Miller chairs are worth their price or whatever. But all I can tell you is Andy Owen is not worth her salary because she just embarrassed that whole company. In a nutshell, she had a video come out that surfaced where she was telling the employees that they need to stop worrying about not receiving company bonuses. They need to just do the work and everything's going to be all right. They need to focus instead on hitting their company's $26 million sales goal, and that's all that matters. Fuck bonuses, who cares? Meanwhile, she's getting a nearly like $4 million bonus herself. So the employee bonuses are kaput, but hers is still just fine. And her video is just so bad. And it was so bad, in fact, that she has already released an apology. In an email sent to employees, she said, "I want to be transparent and empathetic, and as I continue to reflect on this instance, I feel terrible that my rallying cry seemed insensitive. What I'd hoped would energize the team to meet a challenge we've met many times before landed in a way that I did not intend, and for that I am sorry. Nothing will lessen the power and strength of our collective team. My appreciation for each of you is huge, and I will continue to do everything I can to help us meet our shared goals. Thank you for your hard work, your grace, and for the commitment you show to one another and our company every single day." This is a big nothing burger. This is actual garbage. As far as apologies go, this is about as insincere as it gets. This is corporate PR speak. It's not like she was giving a rallying cry. She literally just started vomiting, just diarrheaing out cliches and just worthless platitudes to her employees before getting visibly angry that her employees were upset about not getting a bonus. And then even told them to leave Pity City. So it's all stupid here. This apology is trash.
The most important thing we can do right now is focus on the things that we can control. None of us could have predicted COVID. None of us could have predicted supply chain. None of us could have predicted bank failures. But what we can do is stay in front of our customers, provide the best customer service.
Maybe I should really understand the situation beforehand. So this right now sounds like National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation with axing the bonuses last minute. After telling employees to leave Pity City over lack of bonuses. Damn. Actually dropped an unironic welcome to the wambulance. How about a side of French fries? Jesus Christ. CEO of the high-end furniture company is sparking backlash over video in which she exhorts employees to leave Pity City. After some asked about staying motivated in the absence of a company bonus, Andy Owen, whose company Miller Knowles sells the iconic Herman Miller Aeron chair, along with other upscale furniture, responded in a 1 minute 21 second clip. Okay, this is all about the clip. What's like the actual situation though? So it looks like she got a multi-million-dollar bonus and canceled all of the employees' bonuses. Okay. Is there any reasoning at all beforehand? Any like prerequisite lore I need to be familiar with? Doesn't seem like it. Also, Herman Miller chairs I know are like the holy grail of comfort for people. Matt, for example, can't stop talking about Herman Miller chairs. But I've never seen nor tried one.
Service we can. Get our orders out our door. Treat each other well. Be kind. Be respectful. Focus on the future because it will be bright. It's not good to be in a situation we're in today, but we're not going to be here forever. It is going to get better. So lead.
So
Lead by
many
example. Treat
platitudes so quickly.
people well. Talk to them. Be kind and get after it. Don't ask about what are we going to do if we don't get a bonus.
Oh, yeah, she's starting to get a little animated. She's literally just regurgitating the biggest fucking cliches of all time. Everything she said there was nothing but buzzword nonsense. Jesus Christ. It reminds me of that clip from that streamer who's like, well, why don't we just throw ourselves off a bridge? The world is dying. The animals are leaving. And that's okay because all we need is ourselves. And do you really need anything else? Or whatever. And then it goes into the Call of Duty montage. What was that speech again? That's up there with like some of the greats like We Choose to Go to the Moon. I think it was Invader Vice. I think she was the one that said it, right? Oh, here it is. The planet is dying. The government hates us. The animals are leaving. The aliens aren't contacting us. We might be alone, but that's okay because do you really need anyone else? And then 30 Seconds to Mars starts playing. There we go. Found it. I just didn't feel like getting DMCA'd by 30 Seconds to Mars. Jared Leto coming in.
Get the damn $26 million. Spend your time and your effort thinking about the $26 million we need and not thinking about what you're going to do if we don't get a bonus. All right? Can I get some commitment for that? I would appreciate that.
Damn, she's popping off.
I had an old boss who said to me one time,
She's getting
you
upset.
can visit Pity City, but you can't live there. So people, leave Pity City. Let's get it done.
Okay.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Damn. Welcome to Shitty City, population Andy Owens. God, good lord. I mean, I think it's totally reasonable. Like, hey, can we have our bonuses? And also, why do you get a huge bonus? It seems like she doesn't even have a reason for withholding bonuses or canceling them or whatever. She's like, yeah, there's no bonuses. She doesn't understand people can't even afford to live in Pity City. True, I guess. Not without these bonuses. I also love someone in her position pretending like she's out there making the chairs. Like, alright, it's time we bring ourselves up by our own bootstraps here and start really getting to work on those chairs, alright? We don't need to focus on these bonuses, we just gotta put our head down and do it. As if she's out there with like a fucking wrench and screwdriver. I'll play the Invader Vi clip, but I'm not playing the one with 30 Seconds to Mars. That is like a fast pass to DMCA. I'm not even fucking with it. Here, I'll give the OG original. Damn, I didn't realize this was like 4 minutes worth of monologue.
Faking these things, and that I'm psychotic, that I'm 88 motherfucker, even more into the blanket for it, and I think that we can do it together.
Jesus Christ.
I don't know that I can't do it by myself, because I come in here every single day, covered in glitter, covered in sequins, covered in booty shorts, covered in nylons, so that I do not violate the terms of service, so that each and every one of you can have both.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
So you can have a good time listening to me, playing with me, singing with me, smiling with me. You guys, a lot. I'm just throwing ourselves off a bridge.
Here we go, here it is.
What the fuck is stopping us from just throwing ourselves off a bridge and giving up and saying, yeah, the planet is dying.
Yes.
The government hates us.
Preach.
The animals are leaving. The aliens aren't contacting us. We might be alone. It just might be you and me. But that's okay, because do you really need anyone else?
And then 30 Seconds to Mars. Damn, that's a crazy speech though. Holy shit, she was in the zone. That was a flow state. I've never seen it in its entirety. I've only seen that ending. But why did she say all that? I don't know, man. I still don't know where the animals were going. There's just a whole lot to unpack with that speech. I've been using the word delusional a lot recently to describe some people and companies, and it's not because I think the words become watered down and I'm using it loosely. It's because I legitimately think more and more people are being infected with some brain rot that is making them more and more delusional and slipping deeper into lunacy. And I'd like to talk about one of the most maliciously stupid people on the planet. His name's Billy McFarland, and if that name and this picture look familiar to you, it's because this is the goober behind Fyre Festival, one of the most infamous scams of all time. I probably don't need to explain what that was. I'm sure all of you have seen the massive documentary about it, but I'll just go ahead and pull Billy's pants down and hit you with the truth. Fyre Festival was this over-promised event where it was called like a Coachella in the Bahamas. There was supposed to be a ton of celebrity performers, music, decadent food, just a glamorous, luxurious, expensive event that when it finally rolled around turned out to be worse than a Boy Scout camping adventure. People showed up after paying $1,500 up to $12,000 to be there, only to find the accommodations were FEMA tents and packaged sandwiches, and also no musical performers that they were promised. It was a complete joke. It was a scam. He defrauded many people, and Billy McFarland actually served 4 years in prison. He was originally sentenced to 6 years in 2018, but he served 4 and he's currently out of prison right now. And he is $26 million in debt because he has to repay all the victims, and he's hatched a genius idea on how to make that money back. He's hosting another Fyre Festival. I shit you not. I'm not making this up. I'm actually starting to believe in those tinfoil condom conspiracies about the government putting shungite and fluoride and 5G Wi-Fi signals in our toothpaste that are scrambling our noodles. Because that is the only thing that can explain this man's brain. His brain is this stinky soup of scams and bad ideas. Billy McFarland, being fresh out of prison, has openly stated that he is going to be throwing another festival. This time it's called Pirate. I'm not even making that up. He is calling it Pirate, a name that is synonymous with stealing. I mean, who remembers you wouldn't download a car? Anti-piracy shit. The whole idea behind pirates is stealing. Stealing the booty. And in this case, stealing your money for, once again, a remote island extravaganza. Billy McFarland has learned nothing. He went to jail for the same fucking thing, and he's doing it again. That is poetic. I couldn't imagine a character being written this stupid. No one would believe it. He is actually a real-life version of Ed from Ed, Edd n Eddy, but instead of just saying buttered toast, the only thing that runs through this guy's absolutely damaged cranium is party. And he's not even good at partying. He doesn't even successfully have a party, ever. He's so fucking horrible at partying that he goes to jail when he tries. It blows my mind. I've watched 2 interviews of his since being fresh out of prison, and he is observably stupid. Listening to Billy McFarland defend himself and speak publicly is like listening to someone fart through a walkie-talkie for 30 minutes. It's just garbled nonsense that leaves his mouth. I probably can't show any of the interview clips, but here's one of the quotes from one of them. I was talking to somebody yesterday and they're like, you can crawl in a hole and die, or you can go and try to do something and just like not promise any results, McFarland said. You absolute goofball. He seems to believe that the reason he got spanked by the legal process is because he promised things that he wasn't able to deliver on. That's only a small component of it. It is so much more than that. You maliciously defrauded people, took $26 million, and delivered nothing. So by throwing this festival again and not promising anything, if you still just have people show up to a vacant, empty place to stand in sand for days, you're still scamming them, even if you didn't promise that fucking Cardi B's gonna perform or whatever. Yeah, like, I don't know why that's such a hard concept for him to understand. He's selling a festival, but what he delivered is basically a fucking pile of sand for people to stand in for a wildly high price. This would be like if I made a game and I charged $60 for it, like a AAA title, and then you bought the game, but the only thing there was just a completely empty, open terrain, Unity asset flip. There's nothing in it. You're in a giant empty bubble. Like, yeah, you know, technically this is a game. You bought it, now you're in that game. But you still got fucking scammed by me because there's really nothing there when you went under the assumption that there would be. Just let me rub your nose in this one more time. McFarlane insists it's not a festival. It features a slew of influencers and creators. The purported tropical experience will include virtual reality technology that the company says will allow users to participate and control what happens on the island in real time from home. Absolutely no shot. Who does this guy think he is? Tony Stark? Like, what do you mean? You already made this technology? You have an entire development studio behind you that made a virtual reality experience to control what happens on the island in real time? You slimy salamander, you couldn't deliver more than a handful of deli meat sandwiches to an island. How the fuck is anyone supposed to believe that you're going to deliver a virtual reality experience on an island and this time around it won't be a disaster? When you're promised, well, sorry, I won't use the P word, that's blasphemy around these parts when it comes to Billy McFarland now. How are you insinuating that this might actually happen without being a complete catastrophe? I also can't believe he's making the bold-faced lie about influencers and creators signing on for this. There is no way. If any influencer or creator actually ties their name to this, it's career suicide. This is a bigger scam than CryptoZoo with Logan Paul. No one would recover from the pushback from their audience. They would be laughed off the internet if they actually tried promoting Pirate Festival here. There's just no way he has any connections to anyone, and there's no way anyone would actually sign on to this. If I'm wrong about that, and there actually is creators that sign on to this, you should know never to trust those people again going forward. That would be a massive red flag. That's a goddamn villain at that point. You probably don't even need to read the rest of this here, but I'll still put it on screen anyway. Former employees and people that were tight with Fire Festival are warning about Billy, saying Billy's still Billy, he's using different words but selling the same thing. Similarities are there around the vague, mysterious promotion. Pirate appears to be an exercise in smoke and mirrors, buzzword and empty promises of lavish trips to the Bahamas. It's just everyone coming out to letting people know what should be obvious. Don't put money into Billy McFarland or anything he dribbles out of his asshole. You're just asking to lose it. If you're considering getting tickets to Pirate Festival or investing, then I would strongly recommend seeking psychiatric evaluation for what's gone so awry in your life to lead you to making such recklessly awful financial decisions. That wad of cash that you're considering giving to Billy McFarland and his production, I would highly encourage you to take it and just put it in your trash can, and then light the trash can on fire. That's a better use of it than giving it to Billy McFarland. Oh yeah, I even forgot to mention, there's a treasure hunt that he's putting on as well with Pirate. So when you go to their website, it's all about this treasure hunt. So it's join the crew, a pirate is someone who turns the impossible into adventure. That's a pretty wild play on piracy. unless we're just talking about One Piece. Usually, pirate refers to, once again, stealing. And I guess treasure hunting, but usually at the expense of someone. Right now, the treasure Billy McFarland is hunting for is a way out of $26 million in debt. And do you want to be his lifeline, his little life raft to get the fuck out of there? I certainly hope not. He doesn't deserve it. This idea is bad, so bad, that it should be considered criminal activity that he's even considering it and looking to actually put it on. Billy McFarland is one of the biggest fraudsters in history, and he is looking to do it again. I guess he wasn't happy with being just one of the biggest fraudsters. He wants to be the biggest fraudster. So he's hoping lightning strikes twice with yet another bogus festival full of dog shit, empty promises, and under-delivering. To put it lightly, it didn't deliver at all. It wasn't under-delivering. It just never even came close to anything that he talked about. But this time around, he's not making huge promises and he's not on a strict deadline, so he's saying it's going to be totally different, which it won't be. There's absolutely no chance. So yeah, I just thought this was a pretty wacky story I wanted to share. That's about it. See ya.